Hi everyone. So this video is definitely going to be a little bit harder to chew. The last two videos were a preparation for this one. And we're going to talk about something very sensitive here that is still not being talked about uh, enough outside. But here is going to be a beginning. This channel is for mavericks, for avant guards, frontline people that are running forward, that want to embody and understand things that only 10 years from now will become status quo. And for those of you that have been following the work over the last 30 years, you know that we are always projecting 10 years forward, yeah, with a lot of attention and a lot of care to where things are heading. Yeah, so in the last two videos, we were using the Vesica, how is it said? Vesica Pisces, this very famous drawing. And one time we were using it in the first video, we were using it to show the middle path and the balance between black and white, between exhale and inhale, between fight and dance in capoeira. Then in the second video, we were talking about the hero's journey, ordinary world, going down into the abyss, and crossing the threshold, dying and coming back with a new power. And in that movie, we were talking about these classic hero stories that are coming out this summer: The Odyssey, Dune, Spider Man. And in The Odyssey, we have a side character that has a name that's Mentor, and that is where we get today this word that is about somebody that's helping another person or guiding another person on his path. Ment being mind. So a mentor is a minder, something that minds, somebody who minds your mind, yeah, that helps you grow your mind. And we were also talking about the fact that the first mentor that any living thing on this planet ever had was the female mentor, the mother. Yeah. So we were saying that the mother, which is the foundation of our matter, which is also where the old word matrix comes from. It's all from the same connection, because the mother's imprint on the baby when he still does not have any personality, tabula rasa, is becomes the foundation for his hero's journey, for all aspects of it. And we said that there is a lot of Mai capoeira going on, and that we can almost think of capoeira or the capoeira circle as an external mother womb, and where we can reprogram our matrix of thoughts, our matrix of actions, where we can see our cycles, our voltas do mundus, and we can do something about it. Yeah. So, but this picture is also a picture that gives the idea of the womb, where the womb on one side that creates the wound that is the eventually will lead to the call to action of the hero. Um, every kind of mentor, uh, unknowingly, uh, has is trapped. Okay, he's trapped because he was born in a certain culture, to a certain mother, in a certain neighborhood. He went to a certain school. He listened to certain songs. He watched certain movies. He read certain books, and all of that stuff created a certain kind of mentor, right? And so it is almost inevitable for a mentor not to be trapped by himself. That's how it works. We are, and everything I'm talking about in this movie, I learned not from books, but by analyzing and observing myself. I started teaching already at age 6. I was a mentor in tennis to the 4-year olds. Yeah, I'm sure that they would look at me, and when a 4-year old looks at a 6-year old, that is for him like looking at Odysseus or Achilles, at a hero. But obviously, later I was a mentor in other places, and I've been mentoring in capoeira since age 17. So I've had an opportunity to go through many, many heroes' journeys and recognize um, these invisible chains that I had and that I was also trapping other people with. And this is how it goes. And there is no way around it. Okay, so this is just truth. Um, We were also talking about in the last movie about the 3 stages in capoeira: the school of body, the school of mind, and the school of spirit, or initiation into the capoeira world, the physical part, then the campo de batalha, where I have to learn how to hold opposites, and campo de manjinga, where I become gradually a creator of energy. And so maybe these 3 stages also refer to the mentor. Yeah. So uh, one hidden trap of the mentor is the internal need to fix the other person. Okay. So maybe I'm not even aware of this, but it's very easy by analyzing somebody's language, somebody's actions, to see if he's identified very strongly with the need to fix. The need to fix, it means you're all the time sending a radio signal. It's silent, but it means I need you uh, to be okay in order for me to feel okay. It means that you are not okay at the moment, you are broken, and I need to fix you. And this, even at a slightly subconscious level, will create a paranoia or a certain kind of resistance deep inside the student, because inside the student there is also a soul which is perfect, which is eternal, and that part of him knows that he is perfect and there's nothing wrong with him. So the need of the teacher to fix the broken aspects of the student, this comes from personalities, from layers of persona that we pick up along the way. And this is one chain that the teacher will have to eventually break. And of course, it will break once he understands that there is no need to fix himself. When you travel around the world today, speaking to many mentors, they themselves feel incomplete. They feel that they need to fix themselves, and the way that they work on themselves is by helping other people fix themselves, which on one side is amazing, but there is a hidden layer here of chains that needs to be gently uh, addressed. The second chain that you need to notice is the identification with the role of the teacher. Once I become, I am the teacher, I am the master, I am the leader. I, when you identify with this role too strongly, then you are creating also the opposite power and inside the student. Okay, I need you to be successful in order for my role to be successful. That is one side of the story. Yeah, so I need my student to be good in order for me to feel that I'm a good teacher. But it also, for example, with psychologists or with doctors, it can create also the other effect. Like, if I'm identified with the role of the fixer, I need the person to be constantly broken. I don't really want him to be fixed. Of course, at a subconscious level, not at a personality level. But part of identifying with the role is maybe not really wanting to liberate the student and want him to stay in the role. If I am stuck in the role of the teacher, then I need enough people to be stuck in the role of the student. Yeah, so this is a second chain that you need to address. And I've seen many places that even very big masters, they cannot disconnect from this role, and when it gets to an age that they need to go into a different role, the whole thing collapses because it was built on this uh, collateral chain trapping. Yeah. And the last sort of, and today I'm doing it very small, this stuff is going to be expanded upon in the future courses, and it's already injected in everything that we did in the past. If you go back and look for it, you're going to see that we were always pointing to it. But now that people are getting, communities are getting a little bit more mature, there's thousands of people training, this is the sort of the next issues we are going to be dealing with. So the third chain that you need to be careful as a mentor and as a creator of the matrix for the students. Yeah, so you're creating this change. And the third one is attachments to the outcome. Attachments to outcome. So this idea that I know how things are supposed to be because I'm identified with the role and because I have a vision, and then everybody has to fit themselves into this vision. This creates an attachment to the outcome. In my head, I already know what is good and what is not good. And if the outcome is close to what I believe is good, I'm satisfied. And if the outcome is close to what I don't believe is good, I feel disappointment. And this satisfaction and disappointment based on outcome is a trap. Okay, because we were talking about in the last two movies that during the Campo de Batalha, I'm going to be forced eventually to deal with any kind of opinion or a role or concept that I have in my mind. I'm going to have to accept that capoeira is this and this and this and this and this and this. And of course, once I accept that capoeira is like this, capoeira just means people. So I accept that people and that the world is like this. So as long as I have a desired outcome, I am still trapped in personality. And you need to understand that if you're really honest with yourself and you write down everything you think how things should go, it's just all the failures of the generations that came before you. Everything you call tradition, everything you considered positive, is based upon the failures of everybody and the fears of everybody that came before you. So sometimes you just repeat the same fears. Sometimes you flip them over to the other side. I'm going to be exactly opposite from my parents. And then I end up being just yin and yang, which is the same thing, but in light or in shadow. But anything that you think is true is just because you were born in a certain place and you learned from a certain person. And if you would have gone to the school three streets down, and 10 years before, you would have had a separate idea of what good and what good. So the attachment to the outcome, that it has to come out like me, like I think, is a very a hidden kind of attachment, even though many times the outcomes could be very favorable. Maybe you're helping a lot of people be healthy, maybe you're doing amazing work. It doesn't mean that if you're doing these things, your results are not good. But over time, if you really gonna want to become a liberator, somebody that frees other people, you're going to have to free yourself. And these are three little chains, cordões de ouro, which are holding you back.